6 years of my life, bad coffee, fake smiles, swallowing my pride, all ended by one phone call from a man in his bathrobe on a Friday the Sir No context, no explanation, just that because once you understand that call, you understand everything. Welcome back to Darkwire Revenge, where the people in these stories had every chance to behave themselves. They just chose wrong. Craig Harmon spent 6 years as vice president, working under his father in law, Buck Harmon. On paper, it looked like power. In reality, it was something else. Buck never treated him like an executive, never even treated him like family. Just sport, always sport. Like Craig was a guest who overstayed his welcome. One rainy afternoon, Craig was digging through an old filing cabinet. Nothing important, just cleaning up old records no one cared about. That's when he found it. A dusty document from Ichenju Basherji, the original founding charter. Buried deep inside it, section Sursis, subsection C. He read it once, then again. If a senior officer was fired without cause after 5 years, they were entitled to, by equity, 18%, sat back in his chair, staring at the paper. At home, Shelby already knew what that company could do to a person. She had watched her father slowly tear her mother, Darlene, down for years, quietly, patiently, like it was normal. That night, Craig took the paper to Randy at the Rusty Anchor. Randy read it, leaned back, and smiled. That's not a clause, that's a lottery ticket. He tapped the page because this one you can control. And just like that, Craig stopped surviving and started planning.
The plan required two things, patience and provocation. Craig did not rush, that was the key. He showed Sal by the glass that same night. She read it once, then twice, then a third time, slower. When she looked up, there was no hesitation. He made my mother feel worthless for 20 years, she said quietly. Then she met Craig's eyes. What do you need from me? That was the moment it became their plan. They did not go to war, not loudly. They went carefully. Craig started what he called strategic aggravation. Nothing big, nothing obvious. He questioned Buck in meetings, but always with clean data. He copied Donna on emails, took his full lunch, brave every day, stop it laughing, Buck Goff's stories. He arrived exactly at 9. Life exactly at 5, no more, no less. At Sunday dinner, Selby played her part perfectly. She causally brought up pets, mentioned Carrie had not taken a real vacation in years, 31 unused days. Donna had already approved it. Buck barely looked up. Have fun, he said. That one sentence cost him everything. 8 days into the trip, Carey stood on a small balcony in Paris. The city stretched out in front of him, quiet and golden. Then his phone rang. Buck. Craig answered. The shooting started instantly, lazy, irresponsible, disrespectful, then declined. Craig had been waiting 2 years to hire. Don't bother coming back. Craig did not interrupt. He let Buck finish, and then he laughed. Deep, real 6 years in marketing, and hung up mid-sentence. Selby stood in the doorway. Did he say it? Craig smiled. He said it. All of it. They turned off the phone and went back to their vacation. Craig, the way you say the name of a man who has finally stopped holding back, Buck. The way you say the name of someone who does not yet realize he already lost. Monday morning, Craig walked into the boardroom wearing a charcoal suit, calm, focused. He poured himself a cup of coffee and took his seat. Buck did not waste time. You were terminated. Right on cue, Victoria stood and handed out 12 bound copies of her documents. The room went silent. Buck's expression shifted, but only for a second, then he lost out. You never belong here. He snapped, a well-dressed, ungrateful passenger, and that's when Sylvia stood up. She did not raise her voice. She did not need to. She talked about her mother, about packaged bags, They never made it out the door about dinner, where silence felt safer than speaking. Then she looked directly at her father. I love you because you are my father, she said, a pause. But I have never once been proud of who you are. No one spoke after that. Carol's tone called for a vote, one hand, then another. 7 in total. The Peggy opened a folder, 11 former employees, stories, patterns, proof it was over. Buck was removed quietly, sold his shares on a Thursday. No announcement, no goodbye, just gone. Craig sold his 18% soon after. Randy asked him why. Craig shrugged. I never wanted to company I wanted the clause. But August, Craig and Selby had left Savannah. On the phone, Darlene laughed softly. I always knew the man would run out of people willing to be small for him, and for the first time in years, no one was.